This is a quick video about the little machine shop model 4700 HiTorque micro mill. This is just my first experience with it. I've used it to make a couple of different parts. The biggest thing you're going to want to do is get a really good collet chuck for it. I have this, it was like an ER25, I think. Let me see, actually I got it right here. Yeah, ER25 from Shars, and the quality of this is actually really, really good. I was very surprised. I've never bought anything from Shars before, but it does remove some of the space that you have as far as the total height, but it's definitely worth it. Its run out was I think like 3/10, and the run out of this itself, the actual taper on the machine, is like 4/10, so the run out was better than the machine itself. My total run out right now is like right around 8 or 9/10. It's almost a thou. So it's not the best, but it's for $1,000. It's just something you can make little small parts for, which is what I needed it for. I don't have a space for a Bridgeport or anything bigger yet. I don't have the hookup for electrical in my garage, so this will make do in the meantime. I was gonna put a DRO and stuff on it, but I'm just using this little depth indicator right there. I just put it in whatever direction of the axis that I need, and use this to sort of keep track of my coordinates and everything. You do want to keep it oiled. I have noticed that it is pretty prone to rusting, so you do want to oil it every day. I just use a little rag and wipe it down. Mainly what I've machined so far is copper and titanium. I've done a little bit of steel, and it does not like steel as much as softer stuff like aluminum, but it will do it if you just go slow. It's pretty quiet. And the motor or the speed controller will sense when it's under load, and it'll increase the power too. So let me try to stop right here. Oh, I was actually able to stall it out there. That was actually the first time I was able to do that. Usually when you try to put it under load, it'll just increase the power, like right here. Yeah, so it does increase the power as it becomes under load, which, if you're drilling a little bit bigger, it'll do it. This is the first part that I made with it, and it was a pretty steep learning curve just because I'm used to using a Bridgeport and stuff at my school, and you have to take really light cuts with this. You really have to pay attention to your feeds and your speeds. Especially with drilling, you can't just crank it up halfway and expect to drill a good hole. These bigger holes right here, this was beyond the capability of the machine. I had to end up hand drilling them with my hand drill. You can see that's why it's crooked on this fitting right here. These holes right here as well, I could have done a better job on those if I had taken my time, but they weren't super critical. Water's just going to be going through them. Nothing else is going to be going through them. Yeah, this is a pretty shitty piece if I'm being honest, but no. There's a learning curve to this machine. If you're used to a Bridgeport or whatever, you are going to have to pay attention to the small stuff again. But probably my biggest complaint is this right here. I don't know, it's just very crunchy. You can hear that. And I did clean it out when I first got it and everything. I just wish that it had a longer stroke for drilling, because that's about all you get right there. Yeah, it's for $1,000. I think it's worth it. and I haven't seen any other videos on YouTube about this. What I probably will end up doing is 3D printing some auto feed mechanism for the X and the Y. I tightened down the dovetails pretty tightly to try to get as much slop as I could out, so they are kind of rough to turn, but it did take out a lot of the slop, because I noticed when I was running a indicator along something straight, as I was turning it, like the deviations in the screw will show up in the table. And even now with like a really smooth cut, let's see if you can see it. That was like just a really light 5 thou facing cut I took with the carbide tool at 5,000 RPM. And even here you can see the little lines and everything. But overall, it's good if you're starting out, or if you don't have a lot of space, or if you're just going to be doing really small stuff like me. Like this right here is probably the biggest part that I'll be doing on this. I do want to make some vise clamps for this vise that I have. That way I don't have to, like, you don't use this little jerry-rigged system that I'm using right now. But, yep.